gonna get this thing started. This is it's a live show. It's going on the interweb, so we need energy. We need a lot of energy. A lot of energy.
Everybody.
What's up, Boardwalk? How are we doing in North Hollywood, goddammit? Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome, everyone, to Season 2 of Robbing the People. Holy shit, live from Fourth Wall Studios. We are back. We're glad to be back. That is how little management knows about what we're doing here. They saw the numbers, and yet here we are doing this shit again. I cannot believe it. It's good that we're hoping that tonight maybe we're going to hit double digits on the live stream. And, you know, it's going to be fantastic. It's good. We got a brand new badass show for you guys. Cannot wait to share it for you. Before we get to that, I want to say, wherever you're watching this, you're seeing this, hop on over to YouTube, drop a like, hit subscribe, leave us a comment. We will answer your questions tonight at the end of the show if for whatever fucking reason you're still awake. Yeah, and you want to hear us talk back to you. But then again, if you're watching this show live, you're going to be up all night. I think that's the kind of person you are. You know what I mean? Well, let's get to it, right? We're in the midst of this epic government shutdown that Trump posted in the Rose Garden the other day. Could last a year. Both sides seem more entrenched than ever. Trump says he's not moving. He's not going to budge until he gets the money for the border wall. Newly elected Speaker Nancy Pelosi says she's not giving him a fucking nickel. It's full-blown showdown, right? All the pundits are anxiously waiting to see which politician will blink first, right? Which to me seems ridiculous, waiting for two people who are both shot up with the legal limit of Botox to move any part of their face. You know what I mean? We could be here for a while. It could last a while, the shutdown. Donald Trump was forced to shut down his charitable organization after it became clear that it was just another Trump scam. It does, however, mark a milestone for Donald Trump, being the first time that he shut down an operation without burning the headquarters to the ground for the insurance money. So that's progress, slowly but surely. Yeah, Trump was forced to shut down his charity when it was revealed that all the benefits were essentially going to Trump himself. He bought himself a painting of himself. Fucking crazy. Yeah, exactly. Now that the Trump Foundation is no more, the only charity Donald Trump receives is Melania's bi-yearly visit to the bedroom. You know what I mean? That's the only charity he's getting. Yeah, her nightie says, I don't really come, do you? So it's, yeah. It's official. John Kelly's out. We have no more chief of staff. We'll see how that turns out. Don't tell mom the babysitter's gone. Also out is Ryan Zinke, the Secretary of the Interior. Even Secretary of Defense, Mad Dog Jim Mattis is gone. Trump's fired so many people so far during his administration, he's suing himself for overuse of his own catchphrase. He's got that coming in the mail. Yeah, I know. He's already fired basically 4 seasons worth of Apprentice in the first 2 years. Like, be it cabinet members or the White House staff, they're talking about the very best people, right? He's got the very best people. They're all fucking gone, but they're the best. Amazing. He's great at loopholes. Maybe he figures out one where he gets to fire himself. We all get lucky. I don't know. A mirror? I don't know. The 116th Congress was sworn in 3 days ago. That's pretty fucking cool. It's younger, it's browner, it's gayer, it's more female than it's ever fucking been. That's pretty cool. I'm alone and feeling excited about that. That's okay. This is not as progressive as a crowd as I thought we'd have in North Hollywood. No, it is. It's diverse. It's looking a lot less like Utah and a little bit more like New York City. It's got some fucking grit to it now over there. It's a little less white Texas toast, a little more hummus and pita bread. You know what I'm saying? They may not be more efficient lawmakers, but I think the spread at the fundraisers is about to get delicious and spicy. I think we know that's what's going to happen. When discussing his policy to pull out of Syria, I don't know if you got heard about this. He woke up one day and it's like, we're leaving. It's done. Discussing the policy, Trump said, oh, pulling out of Syria, don't worry, it'll be easy. I've done it before. I've done it before. Everyone's like, what the fuck is he talking about? He's done it before. And a question later, he clarified, he was talking about a stripper named Syria from 115th Street. That he's pulled out of. That is... The war. Oh, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. It's going to be great. Nobody knew. No one knew. Just about the same time Pelosi reclaimed the gavel, Trump held a press conference on border security. I don't know if you guys saw this. With a very interesting entourage of people we have not seen before. In the future, we're going to have this displayed up here. But if you didn't see it, let's take a look at that clip for everybody on the live stream. A shot of these guys. He's flanked by this all bald entourage of people that we've never seen before. And you know, you're just standing there like, listen, I know security, okay? I talked to the Thing, the Shield, and the Commish. I got a sick list of chicklisses, and they know their shit. Let's take a look at that one more time, can we? We'll play a quick game. Who's got the hair? Who's got the hair? Boom, trick question. They're all bald. It's a bunch of bald guys, including our president. Oh, my goodness. Sadly, that's all we have time for the jokes. I wish I had more. There was a truly generous bounty of wonderful things. We had pages. We hired some goddamn writers for this show. Yeah, wonderful. They're here tonight. I couldn't be more thankful. Absolutely. Let's hear it for them. Let's hear it for them. Before we keep going, we got some fucking great guests tonight. We don't do paid ads on this show, but we do have a ton of amazing things going on here at Fourth Wall Studios in fabulous North Hollywood, California. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look. This is fun. Take a look at it. All right.
It's good to be here. Good to see you and all that shit. Jesus.
Are we back? Yeah? Or am I just yelling at the internet?
And we're back in. Yes, you're yelling at the internet.
Oh, my God. Thank you. Wonderful. How about those ads I made everybody that no one in this room saw? Do you like those? Hard to beat. All right. Really quick, please, please, please give a big-ass round of applause for my co-host and co-producer, Travis Clyburn, everybody. Let him hear it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
He's the fucking man. He has a wonderful role on this show wherein he makes sure that I'm not full of shit. That's his main job. He's on the Google back there, and already in the first 5 episodes, I've been called out as not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about. So it's very important that we have Travis here.
Every time.
Yeah, almost every time I open my mouth. Good thing I'm the host. All right. Moving on. I'm really excited for this. We're expanding this show. Previously, it was a full panel. Now we're bringing on some different interviews and segments, and so I'm really excited. We got to move on, friends. We got to move on from all this hilarious shit that happened at the end of the year to 2019, right? The here, the now, for that occasion. And for our very first one-on-one interview, please welcome my guest, Sky, everybody. Wonderful.
Hey, guys.
Oh, my God. I am so excited to have you here, and for a bunch of different reasons. I'm going to try really quick to tell some people who you are, and then you're going to tell me how I was wrong about that.
That
all right?
sounds amazing.
Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
So Sky and I met a couple of years ago, actually, at the Stoned Gamer competition,
oh my God,
I think.
Yeah, that's where.
Yeah,
that's where
absolutely.
It was.
Funny enough, one of our panelists later in the show was also there that evening.
Oh, really?
So it's a nice
you were
little
there? No way.
Stoned Gamer
I was
reunion.
the little vendor girl. Yeah, giving away. What was I giving away? The
Pizza or
merch and
something?
pizza.
Yeah,
cold
absolutely.
pizza. I was like, you guys are high, but you would love this cold pizza anyway. Yeah.
So when I booked you on the show, the other people that worked on the show generously and understandably said, why? And
that's what I said. I was like, I'm not funny at all.
Exactly.
Why do you want me on the show?
Right, and I'm gonna get to that.
Okay.
So the whole idea that I had in my head was, so after I met Sky, I started following her on Instagram, and immediately I was like, oh, 67K, she's doing something right. And so I was like, I'm going through and I'm like, okay, so where did she get this 67,000 people following her every move? How did this happen? And from what I can gather, you're a DJ.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wonderful. You're a model.
I don't even consider myself a model, but yeah, I do for my friends or whenever they need me.
I feel
Yes.
like that's a fair amount of the Instagram.
I guess
is
so, yeah.
something in that vein. Either that or
Yeah.
everyone you know has an amazing camera.
I guess
It's
so.
one of those two
Actually, you'll be surprised. My little brother, I drag him around everywhere, and he's the one that takes my photos. So they're not even like a professional photo; they're iPhone photos.
Not even professional,
yeah,
bro.
so
Did you hear that
that's
shit?
That's the secret. That's the secret. I got you.
So I'm learning all these interesting things about her. You're also a pole dancer.
Yes, I am.
All right. You have a.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
love it. It's the best exercise ever. I don't make money doing it at all. It's just a passion that I have. Yeah.
I feel like it might be a passion a lot of people have now that it's all over your
I
Instagram.
hope so.
Yeah. So I'm learning all these new things about you, and then all of a sudden I find out, and this is the kicker, and the whole reason that I want to talk to you tonight, is that you are fucking diehard in love with science. It is
Yes.
like your whole thing.
Yeah.
And I don't meet a lot of people who spend time at like EDM shows who are interested in the science behind the chemicals they're taking. They're just there to get fucked up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I meet. How old are you? Do you mind me asking?
24.
So not much younger than me, but enough that I feel a huge gap when I look at the stuff that you're doing.
Really?
And just because I feel like
no, I get it. Yeah.
you're. Other than this show is the latest I'm out. I don't. This is like crazy. They were like, I want to do a show at Fourth Wall, and they were like, it has to start at 11:30, and I was like, fuck. It took me 6 months to get it off the ground because I was like, I don't know. I had to sleep in preparation for. I know. So the reason why I think that this is an interesting combination, and when I say she's really interested in science, I'm not sad. Like she fucking knows her science. You just recently
kinda
graduated from
UCLA. Yeah.
and what is your degree in?
Well, the funny thing is, I got a degree in communication studies, but that's not exactly at all what I wanted to do. And I took my last quarter, I took an astronomy class, and that's kind of what changed my life. Was like I had this new perspective of the universe that I had no idea before. Like it wasn't in my interest at all, and I took that, and I was like, wow, this is really amazing. Like it touched me in like a more emotional level. It was like a weird like mental thing I was going through. So that kind of carried me throughout that. Like after I graduated, I was like, I genuinely want to learn more about this. So every day I would like read a bunch of articles and watch videos of like cosmologists and Joe Rogan, like every single day religiously. Like that's every day you'll see me. Like if I'm at home after I come back home from work, that's all I literally do. It's like not Netflix, but like those videos.
Yeah, see, that's
It's so
amazing to
funny.
me. It's like I feel like everyone else I know is just dying to get time to do nothing. And you seem to be like, every time it's like, I do the math and I'm like, wait, she posted this at 3 in the morning. She's like up just like grinding and working and doing all this stuff. And I feel like specifically the lower end of our generation gets a lot of shit for not wanting to work hard, not wanting to do anything. And here you are super passionate about an important subject. So
Thank you.
I guess my question is like, what tapped into it for you that what do you think we can do to get more people involved in and engaged, interested in, I don't know, facts
Yeah,
and fucking
totally. Yeah, no, I
you know
feel
what I
you.
mean? Like
Yeah.
like there's a resurgence of the fucking flat earther movement. Like
Oh
people
my God, those are ridiculous. No, I know. I went through that phase where I believed it because there's so many like interesting videos about it, and like people that and people who don't really know their facts, but they sound super convincing, and people who don't know anything, they would watch that and be so like they would believe it entirely. So you kind of have to do your own research and go around that. But yeah, to answer your question, I think you have to make learning fun. It's the fun factor that gets people. And you know who's a really good example of this is Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, he's amazing.
Oh my
Neil
God,
deGrasse
yeah,
Tyson. We gotta love
he's
him.
the shit. Like,
Right.
he's such a good speaker, and he wrote a book about astrophysics when you're like in a hurry or something like that. Like he makes
for people in a hurry.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So he makes like learning about astrophysics and stuff like that people never even want to touch because it has that, connotation of like you have to be an astronomer or something to learn that. But he makes it digestible, and I think he does a really awesome job about that. And like for me, my whole goal with my Instagram now, before it wasn't like that, but now is I want people to learn from it. Like it's an educational motive behind everything that I do and everything that I post. And like I'll give you a stupid example. Like everyone loves like booty pictures, right? Like everyone likes butt pictures.
I mean, I
right?
can't speak for the crowd,
okay,
but
like a lot
Oh,
of my
fact checking
friends are
says
like,
that's true.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, Travis.
right? I mean, okay, so a lot of my friends, they're like considered Instagram models, whatever the fuck that means. But all that they do is like post their ass, and it's literally like their ass shot, just like that, like just plain ass.
And your face is in the pictures.
Yeah.
In contrast to that, you're full body normally. Yeah.
So what I would do is like, no doubt that's an attention grabber, and like I'll use that. So I'll like post a photo of my butt, but I could never just post my ass because I don't have that in me to do that. And like, cause I have this. I have this, and this goes a far longer way down the road. So what I would do is like I would post that and then put like a little astronaut or like quote like, did you know China just landed on the dark side of the moon? Like I would totally slip in some like factual like news or like something like that would totally divert their attention from my ass, because it's not about that.
Are you sure?
It's about but I'm using I have a whole strategy. Like I'm using that like attention grabber to like give people like knowledge and information about like shit that I learned myself. And like I think that's the best way. Or I'll just like post a stupid selfie, and like most girls would be like, I don't know, like thinking about tacos, or like I'm busy, or
that's what I say.
Just like a random shit like that. I'm like, that can be an opportunity for me to like tell them something. So I'll be like, I'll post a picture of my face or something and be like, you know, the universe is expanding at like an accelerating rate, and it's because of dark energy and dark matter, and we don't even know what that means, but that's what's causing all, you know, like I would just go on about like some super like factual information and theories and stuff like that. And I
so
think
you're saying we need tits and ass for the attention,
that's
and
just
then as
my
soon as
way.
they're drawn in, it's like some science.
I just slip in the info for them, and I think that's how like people are gonna slowly like get that in there. And I just want like everyone who visits my profile to like learn something. That's my goal, is like if you just learn something new.
Absolutely.
So that's what I'm doing.
No, fuck yeah, that's a great thing. And in all honesty, I feel like I was a little hesitant to even put it in the same words that you did, because that's exactly why I asked you on the show. I was like, this chick gets people to like look at her ass and like fly around this pole. That you have a pole dancing pole in your apartment.
Yeah, because I love it so much.
And it's a full-time practice thing. Mm-hmm. And then at the bottom, it's like a fact about Elon Musk. Yeah, I'm like, it's so, I don't feel like anyone else is doing this.
I love that you acknowledge that.
No, I do. I think it's an interesting thing of where you're so unashamedly and unabashedly being like, look, I know why the fuck you're here, but if you could take an extra second and read the comments, you know what I mean? Like,
thank you. Yeah,
absolutely.
That's my whole purpose of like my Instagram now. So yeah, and it's not even just through that. Like I'm a music producer as well, and so all of my, it's really interesting. Like all of the music that I'm writing, like through my lyrics and like sound design and everything, it's all about like astrophysics, and I'm like, it's an educational motive again. Like I wrote a song about like being in orbit or like dark energy, and I'm writing one about black holes and stuff because it's super interesting. And everything that I'm putting in the song is like factual evidence or like metaphors and stuff like that. So yeah.
So what is the future for you? Like other than trying to immediately incorporate that, like long term, is there something now that you're like, I wasn't even thinking about doing anything with astronomy, but now that I've had this study, I've gotten all excited about it. Is there some big thing that you want to do or get involved in? Yeah.
So because like after I graduated from UCLA, I was like, I can't just like go back to UCLA and switch my major to like astrophysics now. Like that's really stupid for me to do. So like, how can I incorporate this in my career? And that's when at the time I was like starting to produce music, and that's what I really want to do now, is like I'm focusing my career on music. So that is like the best way to intertwine all the like artsy stuff that I'm doing with my new knowledge and passion towards the sciences and everything. So yeah, so I want all my music to be super educational, but like in the commercialized music, because I'm producing like EDM, electronic dance music. So
do you feel like anyone's thinking about anything when they
will
listen to that shit?
No, but they will. Like they'll acknowledge it. Like people they're dumb, but like not that dumb. Like they're not like that dumb. They're gonna acknowledge like, oh shit, this girl's like in her life, she's freaking talking about like how the black hole's like the singularity is on the bottom, and like it's because there's no gravity. I mean, gravity is so strong that like not even light can, escape it. Like people are gonna learn that from my music, and that's like the coolest thing ever.
Or here on this show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly. So I think that's a really cool thing. And
No,
not
it is.
everyone's doing that. So I was like, I might be the first one. So it's like fucking sick. Yeah.
I love the idea that like you're tricking a bunch of young kids into going to school while they're trying to party. I think that's the
Thank
best
you.
thing. I
You
think
got-
that's
you
the only
have
way
to-
we do it.
You have to party with a purpose. Like every party I go to, I have like.
That's a
yeah,
fucking.
thank
That's a
you.
movement. That's a
It's a
movement
party-
right
party
there.
with a
Hashtag
purpose.
that shit.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, thank
Party
you.
with a purpose.
Yeah,
Shit.
always. Like I always
Is that
have
the
an
next album?
intention. That should be. That should be.
Oh shit.
Like, yeah, I don't have time to waste. Like, I want to have fun, but be productive as fuck. Like, you have to. That's me. That's my mentality, right? She gets
I
it.
love that.
Yeah.
I think this went exactly how I hoped that it would. It's fantastic. You have any plugs or anything you want to let anybody know about? You got any shows coming up or anything?
Not yet, but I'm gonna start releasing some music soon. That's the goal. Is probably next month or so is to finally like maybe get a label to start like releasing and selling my music. So that's what I'll be looking forward to.
Awesome.
And
What's the
making-
platform for that? Are you on SoundCloud? Or are you doing?
Yeah, SoundCloud. It's soundcloud.com Sky Squared because Sky Squared. I'm a
two
nerd
skies,
like that.
everybody.
It's Sky, but it's just spelled out Sky Squared. And my Instagram is Sky_Sky_. So
All right.
Thank
well,
you
thank
so
you
much,
so much,
guys.
Sky, for coming to this.
so much. Guys, thank you for acknowledging all of that.
Oh my goodness. See, we don't have to have comics on this show all the time. We get too much time on this fucking stage. We're gonna have some real goddamn people come in here and talk about some real stuff. With that being said, I'm very excited for our next segment. Before we get to the panel, we have one more guest. The polarization of politics has crept its way into every social aspect of everything. And I feel like basically turned our lives into like a Thanksgiving dinner table of hell. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we're all sitting around just waiting for us to talk about everything, but we're not talking about everything. And that's what the fuck this show is about. So with that in mind, one of the big topics that's often left out is dating when it comes to the polarization of politics. We're talking about building walls and all this shit. No one's talking about how hard it is to date now that Trump is president. And I have someone who is here to talk to us about that. Our very first contributor, Sanyam Sharma, everybody. Let's get him up here.
Thank you. Thank you, Rob. This is nice. Hey, everybody. How we doing? We good? Cool. Sweet. Thanks for having me, Rob.
I'm very excited to have you, man. You're our foremost expert on love on this show.
Yeah, I am. And I know what you guys are thinking, but he's Indian. What the fuck does he know about love? Or nobody wants to fuck Indian guys. Come on. Hey, it's true. Historically speaking, in America, Indian men and other Asian American men have been unfuckable nerds forever. That shit is changing, though. All right. Especially in metropolitan areas. What I'm saying is, in LA, your boy is fucking killing it. It's very cool to be dating a brown boy, and I'm capitalizing. Yeah, you know, it's really like it's just in vogue now, Rob. I think that's safe to say that, you know, we're really changing things for Indian men in America.
It seems a little general, but I think I get what you're coming for.
I mean, I'll be specific, all right? For Indian men specifically, you know, like I said, we'd been unfuckable nerds forever, and then people got into yoga and chai tea, you know, shit white women like, and that extended to Indian men itself. Like we are in vogue. You know, it's like, I guess white girls in LA want some kind of brown arm candy when they're walking down Melrose. Something other than the bag of their Shih Tzu shit. That's what I'm saying.
So wait. I just want to clarify. You're saying that you enjoy being fetishized, or you like that?
I
or?
mean, look, Rob, I'm not saying that I like it, but, you know, it's degrading. Being fetishized is degrading. But what's hotter than being degraded? You know what I mean? Yeah, it's fun. It's like being sparkling water. You know, people think I'm exotic because I have a weird name, but really it's just like regular ass water. You know what I mean? And you know what? What's better than just cooking basic Indian food and people being like, "That is hot." All right.
So you're saying you like it? It's working out for you.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, on my own terms. On my own terms. I think that, it brings me to the next point. Like, there's weird sex. Weird stuff happens. But I've noticed this, and I don't know if anybody else who's a person of color has noticed this. There's a lot of coverage of, like white power rallies, neo-Nazis up in these streets. And you have this weird phenomenon happen. It's weirder than, when you're in grade school and you call your teacher hot, or your hot teacher mom. Sorry. That's what I meant to say.
I think we've all done both, Sonia.
Yeah. I call my mom teacher. I don't know what that meant. It's a really weird phenomenon. Sometimes you'll see the articles and they've got pictures, and sometimes there's some hot neo-Nazis out there. You know what I mean?
I don't.
Right? There are some hot neo-Nazis, right? And here's the thing. What's the best kind of sex, Rob? Exactly.
Okay.
Hate sex. And every sex with a neo-Nazi is hate sex. Neo-Hotsies.
Oh, my God. Okay. I feel like maybe we're getting off the rails on this a little bit. So...
Right on track,
I'm
baby.
so embarrassed to ask you this next question, but okay. So let's say that I'm a straight white guy. Let's say, and so let's say I'm trying to mix things up a little bit and engage with more people of color. You wrote this. God damn it. What would you suggest? What's your advice?
Are you saying to date more women of color?
Yeah, that's
Don't
what
be
I
a
wanna
gross
do.
racist, Rob.
Okay.
You guys, white men have been killing the interracial dating game forever. It's created a scarcity problem for us. That's why we have to cross over now. You did this. You did this, Rob. You personally did this.
Yeah, I've been told that.
Yeah. Thanks.
Wait. Okay, so all this talk sounds like you're kind of taking agency away from women. Or are they still making the choices, or how's
Yeah,
that
I
work?
mean, like, historically, women in straight courtship and straight dating have been the gatekeepers. Like, some literature would put it at up to 90% of relationships are initiated by men. Straight relationships are. So you could say that men are driving the phenomenon, but women are letting it happen. But I would say, for the greater good of humanity, this is how we're all just going to become one race, And my money is on we're going to all look Tibetan, I think.
So you're saying that this is the way to bridge the racial divide in our country. This is how you're going to bring us all
This and
together.
apparently pictures of asses, according to interracial asses.
Yeah, we're finding the answers.
Asses 2020. I do. Yeah, I think that it can help us. Maybe, You could also say that I have no idea what I'm talking about, and I made most of these things up as, vehicles for jokes. But you know what? I gotta say, I don't know. It's gonna require a lot more science, a lot more study, and there isn't that much study there haven't been that many studies about dating and relationships in the modern world. And I'm not gonna do that shit. I don't want to be an unfuckable Indian nerd.
Sanyam Sharma, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Woo! Thanks, man. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. All right, everybody. We are going to take one really quick break before we get on to our panel. That's 2 guests, and we're only halfway done with the fucking show. That's pretty exciting. Hell yeah. And I think we've learned a lot about ourselves and how we're moving forward. So let's take a look at other guests we're going to have on this
Robbing the
season.
people, and the whole concept is
It's a political show.
it's a political show. Okay.
and-
Oh, good.
And then we have comics talking about the crooked politicians, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Robbing the people, huh? 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 Who are they robbing? The people, huh? Robbing the people, who are they robbing? Huh? Robbing the people, huh? Robbing the people, huh? Robbing the the people, huh? Robbing the people, huh? Robbing the people.
Who the fuck you robbing?
Robbing the people, huh? Robbing the people, huh? Robbing the people, huh? Robbing, 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 rob, 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 rob,
White people.
robbing the people, huh?
All right, everybody, we are back with Robbing the People, and we are getting beers to everybody who needs one, because we are fucking taking care of our audience. Let that be a lesson to you. Come see the goddamn live show out here and check it out. We're all drinking. We're having a good fucking time. It's going to be a blast, goddammit. Well, everybody, break out your flannel because it's time for the panel, all right? That is what time it is. It is the segment that launched it all. I'm going to bring on my guests one at a time. First of which, very funny comedian. He hosts here at the Fourth Wall on the regular. He's one of the funniest dudes I know. Alan Peterson, everybody. Let's get him up here. Alan Peterson, yes, yes. That side, sir. Wonderful. The one, the only. I'm so glad you're here, buddy.
Thank you for having me, man. What's up, man?
Absolutely. I can't say that. All right.
Yo, sorry, man. Damn. Third beer. I got a hole right here, so just everyone relax.
It's all right. We don't even have the other camera to switch to, so people don't even have a choice.
Please don't.
Now, let's write down the barrel of this main camera, by the way.
Woo!
So,
Okay.
keep those legs crossed.
A lady, like a lady. All right. My
I have no hip.
It looks so uncomfortable for you, dude. You got to get with Sky and work on that pole. You know what I'm saying? All right, we got to bring out my other panelist. God damn it, he is one of my oldest friends. He's my former roommate. He is the co-host of the Andy Show. Andy, good times, good stories, bad times, good stories. Getting it right is not my thing, but his name is Joe Flanders, and he's gonna come up here right now. Joe Flanders, everybody. Woo! Bad times, good stories.
Nailed it.
There we go.
Yes.
Wonderful. It's a fucking great podcast. It's video now.
It is.
So go check that shit out. We're going to plug it again at the end. But
Terrific.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So I feel like we should let's start to talk about the fucking shutdown. This shit's crazy.
Yeah, this is a meeting of the great minds here.
Yeah,
let's
absolutely.
solve
We're
the
gonna
problems
figure
of
it
the
out.
world.
Yeah. I have some thoughts. Thank you for the text earlier. I have some thoughts.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's start with this. This is the thing I was thinking about earlier today. Why, when there's a government shutdown, and let's be clear, there's been a government shutdown during every presidency back to Reagan, except for H.W. because he went around long enough to fuck things up quite that bad. But there were shutdowns during Reagan, there were shutdowns during Clinton, shutdowns during Obama, as well as President Cheney. But the there it is. Okay. But my question is this. Why the fuck does it happen this way? Why when we have a government shutdown does it impact the people who didn't fucking cause it? You know what I mean? Like, Congress is still getting paid, the president's still getting paid, like, all the people who are fighting about this shit are the ones not affected by it, and yet there's all these, like, working class people who are shortchanged.
You want to pop it off? I'll pop it off. It's typical government shit. Now, as the resident black person, I gotta say, I never fuck with the government, okay? But this is just because, I'm a nigga. So what I'm saying is I'm a black person, so I don't trust them, all right? I said it on camera. I'm saying it on Robbing It with the People, okay? Fuck the government, all right? First off, we don't trust them because of a bunch of CIA operatives, bugging and trying to fuck around with Martin Luther King and all these other motherfuckers. I can go on forever. So anyway, this isn't. It's a trend, which is why I find it beautiful that white people are waking up. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean by that?
I mean by it took Trump to come in and make white people be like, there's something wrong with the system. Of course, man.
That's true. Yeah. No shit.
It's been wrong for a long time.
Yeah, it's like that. What was that sketch they did on SNL
It's
right
the
after
s-
Trump
yes,
got elected?
yes.
The black guys are like, yeah.
Like, duh,
What the fuck?
Robert. You're a pretty white man. Of
Yeah.
course this is shocking.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I was on the Bernie bus, so Joe and I were sitting in our living room when he got elected, like, yep,
And it's
this
just
is
bu-
definitely fucking happening. No
Yep.
doubt about it.
It's bullshit. So what I'm saying is, I flew over here. There was a lot of disgruntled TSA agents, and I had no
Right.
idea. I thought
They're calling in sick.
I was like, that guy, she's a bitch. But so someone had to tell me, like,
They're not
she's
getting paid.
And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, word. See, this is how you know black people ain't even on that shit. We're like, oh damn. Like, word.
Yeah, I texted you about the shutdown. That's when you found out about it.
Yeah, I was with my brother. He's like, you idiot. They're not getting paid. And I was like, well, at least I could smile. But yeah, but I'm just saying that this is bullshit. Trump's a piece of shit, and
Right.
I'm with Nancy Pelosi. I rock with her for a minute, and she was upset about. I'm taking all the time.
Go right ahead.
They were talking about the freshman, the one from Michigan. I'm from Michigan.
Yeah.
The one that said we need to get the motherfucker.
Impeach the motherfucker, yeah.
Impeach the motherfucker. I was like, that's some gangster shit. You
Right.
say grab pussy. You say get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
All
you
balances
legit-
out.
Right. So I'm just saying, like, that's some gangster shit. I'm down with you, Nancy. Get them the fuck out, and that's it. On the government shutdown. You go ahead.
How we follow
This is the
that?
first time that phrase has ever been said out loud. I'm down with Nancy Pelosi. Yeah.
You know what's fucking crazy? Actually, when they put her up for nomination the other day, that's exactly what they said. They did. They said the Democratic caucus is down with NP or whatever middle initial was. D, I think. NDP. That's a rap reference. You guys know? All right.
OPP.
Yeah. See,
You
the
know me.
white people know some rap. Shit. A little
Good.
bit of credit.
Good.
I was 6 when that song came out. Fuck.
Also, right, in fact, 21 days in 1995, the longest government shutdown under Bill Clinton.
Yeah, it's
What?
true. Newt Gingrich
Yeah.
and him faced off over Medicaid. It's
Yep,
crazy.
yep.
Medicaid.
So why do we? I feel like, and the reason I brought this up is because I feel like no one's talking about it. No one
Right.
once has said like maybe this shouldn't work this way when this happens.
Right. Maybe the people that are fucking up are the only ones who shouldn't be getting paid.
Yeah, exactly right. Like that seems
sure.
easy.
For
The
sure.
3 of us are alone in feeling that way. The crowd's
Yes.
not on our
Yeah.
side.
They're like, no. They deserve that raise.
But it's like I feel like every time an issue comes up, it's so distracting. Even the people I agree with, the point they're making, I'm like, but you're missing the bigger thing. A shitload of people who didn't have anything to do with this are going broke, and then Trump's going on TV being like, they understand, they totally support it, they're fine, it'll be all right. Literally, they were like, what about people who can't pay rent? He's like, I'm sure the landlords will cut them a break.
Yeah.
He's like a notoriously devious landlord.
That's a real quote he said.
Yeah, he's like, they're gonna take care of them. They'll work it out. It happens. I'm like you mentioned, I'm white. That's never happened to me. Ever. Have they been like,
Well,
oh, it's cool, dude, take a couple days.
No one knows more about landlords than Donald Trump.
Yeah,
know.
exactly right.
Yes.
Kicking them out. All right. Anyway.
So, other thing, he said that he might declare a national emergency
Well, sure.
over this shit. Which, what we were talking about, Travis? It's happened for 9/11, and then before that, what was the most recent time?
Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, so that's been a minute.
So that
Twice.
didn't even happen for Katrina, and it's going to happen for a fucking wall?
Exactly right. So,
Wow.
for those who are not aware, basically what Trump wants to do, because he's not getting his way, is he's already shut down the government, but he wants to declare a national emergency, and he's talking about immigration. So the thing that you haven't seen at all on TV of people rushing over the border and causing crime, it's a fucking huge national emergency, apparently. And he wants to shut it down because what happens when he declares that is then he no longer needs any fucking checks and
Congressional
balances.
support, yeah.
He can basically just say, "Oh, we're fucking doing this, and this is what's happening." How do you think? I bet he does it again. If he does declare the national emergency, and he still doesn't get it, I feel like it'll just be a stalemate. I don't see him caving on that.
No, I don't either. I mean, I think the problem is that, as opposed to other shutdowns, like this is a tangible thing.
Right.
Like it's a wall that he can point to and be like,
Yeah.
I won.
Please elect
And it's
me
the
again.
thing that if it's not there, Democrats can point to and be, see, it's not there.
Right.
Whereas, if it's healthcare or anything else, just as important, probably more so, but it's
Yeah,
not a
way more.
tangible thing
Yeah.
that you can point to. And since we have this asshat as president who just wants to point to things that he succeeded on,
Right.
like I don't know how this is going to end.
What do you guys? So let's say that you guys could get a private meeting with Nancy Pelosi or Donald Trump, and you could be like, "All right, listen, this is what you're gonna get. We'll give you the wall, but you gotta deal with this legal weed or something like that." You know what I mean? Like throw some crazy shit that's unrelated in there. Because what they're trying to do right now, the deal that was on the table a year ago that they're kind of trying to go back to, which is like, we'll give you the money for the wall if you'll give us the DACA bill, so we can let all the dreamers who were born in this, brought to this country when they were very, very young, they can become citizens. So they almost said that they were going to do that, and then it all fell through the last time the government almost shut down. So what do you think could spice in the pot for either one? If one of them, if Trump came to Nancy Pelosi and was like, all right, fine, healthcare for everybody. You know what I mean? He'd be like, oh,
That'd be
shit.
great.
We fucking not think he
Yeah.
was going to say that.
That'd be great.
I mean, I'd go for that because walls can fucking come down. Berlin Wall, build the wall. We'll shut it down in 2 years, hopefully.
Right.
You know?
How effective is the wall going to be? I mean, this is a hack subject at this point. It's like, ooh, we'll fly over, we'll go under. Like, nigga,
No, but
they'll
that's
find
true.
a way,
That's true.
though.
This
Right.
It's a 30-mile wall we're talking about, right?
Right.
30
30.
How many miles? How many miles is the border?
Mexicans
6 or
can
7.
rig up some shit to just be like, I'm Icarus Holmes. Like, I'm be like, come on, man. I love Mexicans. My girl's Mexican. I love you, baby. I'm just saying. Since when underestimate them niggas? They can do a lot of shit.
And the Mexicans know their Greek mythology, so that's probably how that's going to work out. That makes sense.
You've always said that.
Yeah, that's the number one thing that I get. My stepdad's Mexican, and all we did every night was we went through all of the myths. Yeah, that was the thing.
Don't
like-
fly too close to the sun, or
Yeah.
you burn your wings, man. Hey.
You do a very good impression of him for
'Cause
someone
I
who's
love
never
him.
met him. That's very good.
I love him.
Okay, so the new Congress was sworn in. Let's move on to this. We got the new Congress. It's gay, it's female, it's brown, it's Muslim, it's Native American, it's diverse as fuck. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And what's important about that is not just so we can say, look, we got one of those in the thing. Like, it's not about that. It's about how long we've had citizens in this country that have had zero representation in Congress. Zero, like none. So when we say the first Native Americans, they're called Native Americans, and they're just now getting into Congress. Like, that shit is backwards. But so the thing I want to ask about is we have kind of a new vanguard in the new Congress. So if we're just talking about the Democrats, we'll leave all the very upset Republicans to the side for a second. We got a lot of different people, and it's going to be easy for people to lump them all in and say, like, the Democrats in the House, you know? But it's wide. We have Nancy Pelosi, who's been in Congress since before my mom was born, I think. I don't know. A very long time.
Yeah.
Let's fact check that.
Yeah, at least 135 years,
Yes.
right? Nancy
Yeah.
Pelosi's been in.
Yeah.
All right, roughly.
I
Yeah.
haven't consulted
She
a
looks
manuscript
great
to find
for
out. Give me 1 second.
186 years old. She's very.
Would you
it's
hit
working.
Rob?
Would I hit?
Yeah.
Let's
That
see,
ass.
let's see what she
It's
pulls off.
hypothetical.
Let's see. In the shutdown, we'll talk. You know what I mean? Like,
If Nancy Pelosi is posting photos of her ass on Instagram,
right?
are you liking that?
Maybe that. Well, man, it depends. Is there policy in the corner? You know what I mean? Is there a little bit of like booty? But did you know healthcare? You know, like I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That might be the thing. Thank you, Sky, for our
Old ass
theme of the
lingerie and
evening.
shit.
Yeah. What?
Sign the bill, baby.
So we got. What I tell you about the whole?
My bad. Sharon Stone.
So. Shit's getting basic. All right. So we got Nancy Pelosi on one side. On the other side, we have the youngest member of Congress ever elected, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You know about her, Alan?
I do not. I'm sorry. You saw the look on my face.
Yeah,
I was like,
I did. I saw it as I was saying her name. You were like, "Oh shit, we're about to talk about her." No, for real, you're gonna love this chick. I mean, you're
Yeah.
gonna look her
Word.
up after you're done tonight. And
Word.
you're gonna be like, "I cannot believe I didn't know about this girl." She is woman. I apologize for saying girl. She's a badass woman who is just she's 29, dude. 29 in Congress, and she's a
like that.
bartender from the fucking Bronx.
What? I already
Yes.
like it. I'm already
Yeah.
Yes, we love
I remember
Alexandria. But the problem is that when she was elected to her in her primary, she ousted Joe Crowley, who's been in Congress forever, is like one of those super old, crusty dudes in Congress.
Get him out of there.
Yeah,
I don't even
yeah,
know
for
him,
real.
you
No,
know?
I'm on board with that. But what happened was when she got elected, people see the person that she dethroned as the same group as Nancy Pelosi, like the old vanguard of Congress. So they all said, we'll elect you, but you better not be voting for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House, and that's already happened. And there's a
Yes.
bunch of people that are very progressive that were elected to Congress, and their constituents were like, we like you, we don't like Nancy Pelosi. So I'm curious how that's going to turn out over the next, few years because they're gonna have to. They already kind of caved by voting her into the speaker position. It was very weak resistance to that, I think.
Yeah, how many people resisted? It was
Some like 10
16
or 11,
something?
maybe.
Yeah.
Democrats, very low
Right.
numbers. It was overwhelming support for her, and as well it should be. I mean, and we talked about this. Michael Virgilio and I talked on the last episode of this show about she's got the fucking knowledge and experience to get the shit done. So whether or not you like her, there ain't no better bitch in Congress. There just isn't.
That's what
Like,
I'm saying, man. That's
She was
seriously,
first
like,
elected
when
to
you hit me with
Congress
the
in
text,
1987, by the way.
what's that?
1987.
First elected in 1987, yeah.
Yeah,
She
so
was
I
born
joke
in
about-
1940, so she's...
I joke about
Old
before
as
my mom
fuck.
was born, but before I was born for certain. And she's been crushing it this whole time.
Most of her parts are only like 10 years old, though. So.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
Not for this room?
That was no, it's
No,
okay.
that's good. It
This
took me a
room's had
minute,
a
I
lot of
got
work
it.
done, so that hit home. That's where that's coming. They were like, "Just shut the fuck up." Oh my God. So for real though, we impeached the motherfucker. Will that happen? Probably not. What do you think?
No,
It's fun to
not
say.
yet.
Right.
Can you break
I
down
just-
why though? Because I would love to see it, but why is it unlikely?
Because it's tough. Because on one end, I honestly think he's already done impeachable offenses. I think the Helsinki meeting when he stood up next to Vladimir Putin, who interfered in our election, he was like, he's fucking great and handsome, and I was a big fan. Like, fuck that. That's treason. That's treason.
100%.
You're done. This guy attacked our democracy, and you're like, he's so like it was. I'm sorry to make you into Putin there for a second. I needed a prop.
I've been called worse.
Yeah, fair enough. But to me, that's it. But what they're saying is like we don't have it on him yet. That's what they're saying. Like we don't have the thing that we would go and file the papers and be like, this is what happened. But it's like, first of all, Robert Mueller is going to wrap up his investigation sometime in the next 6 years.
Praise be.
And we'll finally know what the fuck happened. Maybe, probably not.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. I feel like the reason I feel like it's unlikely is because I feel like the shit is already there and it's not happening and no one's taking it seriously.
I just don't think it's.
So what
I
the
don't.
fuck's gonna happen that's gonna?
I don't
make it
think
real?
it's a sexy enough thing that he's done. And by that, we know what Bill was doing under the table. And
Right. That's
you
an
know.
easy thing to attack.
Yeah,
somebody
it's like a
for.
tangible, like, oh, you know,
Right. At least
Nixon,
that motherfucker had permission.
Well, right.
Right?
That's true.
Am
Well,
I-
Bill
Fans,
Clinton.
no fans of consent in the house either.
Yeah,
That's
Monica
all right.
Lewinsky, she was with it.
Yeah.
Monica was with it. She was about it.
Yeah, Bill Clinton,
Bill was-
really
Bill was
respects the
wrong.
women.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the point that I was making. Joe, you were saying earlier. So 2020, let's talk about that. Let's move right along. No, let's talk about it because this is the beginning of the conversation because Elizabeth Warren decided that it is. She's the first person who's launched like full exploratory committees. No one's really ever done that without eventually running for president, so we can count on her doing it for sure. She's the only one that we have like a really clear, it looks like it's happening. But she, in a lot of the polling I've seen, is in like 7th place.
Right.
As far as people, it's like Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders,
Beto, right?
Kamala Harris, Cory Booker.
Old.
No, Cory Booker and Kamala Harris are new.
I
new
love Joe Biden, though,
blood.
but isn't that the problem? Joe Biden's like 88 or some crazy. shit.
78, I think.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
And I love him. He went to Syracuse. What a Joe Biden. But I'm just
Right,
saying,
he's
like,
definitely gonna see this.
Yeah.
This is his favorite late night West Coast
Yep.
North
if
Hollywood
you want
talk
to be
show.
tapped into the streets.
When Joe Biden's looking for that malarkey, he turns into this show.
I feel like you're required to say the word malarkey with that sweater on. I feel
Right.
like that
Yeah,
comes.
exactly.
That's a package
Right.
deal.
Right.
I was like, he hasn't said it this whole time.
I was just waiting for the right time.
You found it.
I mean, I know it's his favorite word, so I
No,
thought
it absolutely is.
know.
That and ice
What's your
cream.
favorite
God damn.
craft beer? Blue
Belgian
Moon?
white,
Belgian
absolutely.
But
So-
how amazing would the debate of Joe Biden versus Donald Trump be?
Oh, fantastic! They
Like,
should be talking about kicking each
I
other's
mean,
ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They would be
They've
cussing.
literally
They'd be
already done
cussing
that.
at each other.
Because I think the problem is, like, how do you attack Donald Trump in a debate?
Right.
I don't know. Like, do
Yeah,
you
no,
try
I
to
don't think
do
we
the,
know
like,
answer to that.
the
I want
adult
some-
in the room? Like, ask John Kasich how that went.
And that's my problem with you. When Bernie was running in the primary, I was excited about the idea of him debating Trump. And as time has progressed, and I watched him debate Clinton and all that, I was like, I don't don't fucking know, man. Because I feel like Bernie would do the thing he does at the speeches, which is like that old Jewish, like, that is what I believe. I don't, you know,
Yeah.
the fucking, if you don't know on my side, I think we should give healthcare to everybody. But if I'm fucking crazy, you know, fuck me, you know.
Yeah.
And I get that, and I'm with that, but I don't know if that's gonna work.
I'm about that too.
You know, yeah, I'm all about that. But I feel like that's not, and I don't know how that'll play.
Shit,
I don't know if that's
funny.
gonna work.
I honestly don't know how you battle Trump.
Right.
Do you go down to his level? And I don't like. What do you do?
It's hard, man. I mean, it's hard. I don't know. Like, sometimes I just want to walk up to him and be like, yo, listen, stop being a bitch ass nigga. Like, you're ruining everything for everybody. I'll get you murked tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I sent him a letter and it said that exact same thing. Yeah. So I wanted to say that too. I did. Yeah. Verbatim.
But honestly, for 2020, I thought about this. And once again, black people conspiracy, fuck y'all. So this is what I think.
Word up.
I'm so
I
excited.
think, and you heard it here first, it's a stretch, Rob. It's a stretch. Don't you judge me.
yeah.
It's a stretch. But I think everything that's happening is a ploy to make Jay-Z the next president. Listen.
Hold.
Listen.
I'm on board. He's got my vote now.
Here's why. Trump is
Give a fuck.
horrendous. We all know that. He's a piece of shit. And somehow he got there by lying to the what they call them, dusty white people. He lied.
Is that what they call him?
That's what I thought.
You looked at me like I was going to tell you.
That's a dusty white
dusty
person,
white
Rob.
folks?
Could you,
Those are my people you're referring to, by the way. The white trash.
He
is
tricked
where
them.
we're commonly called.
Trav. They not you, but come on.
No, I know.
I'm
Why do you
from
think I
Michigan,
live
man.
here
You
now?
know those good old boys.
Yeah, they
are
tricked
like,
my
he's
family.
gonna-
That's fine.
All right.
No, they dusty. They rusty. The rusty white people. That's
Right.
fine.
Rust.
Anyway,
Yeah.
so this is
yeah.
once again
Yeah.
stretch, but here we go. So I think Jay-Z whispered in Kanye's ear and said, I need you to start acting a goddamn fool. So then it'll be like, wow. But listen, because Kanye, what did he say?
He came right back and said he was off his meds or whatever.
No,
the
but he
fuck
also
that
said
thing.
he's going to run in 2020.
Oh yeah, he did say that.
So
yeah.
if he said he's going to run in 2020, Trump's going to be against Kanye? Hell no. Who's better than Kanye? Jay-Z will be like, I'll put a stop to all of this. And then run against, and everyone will be like, oh, all right, hold up.
I mean, we're talking First Lady Beyonce.
Yeah, right.
Who doesn't want to see that, nigga?
Are we not on board,
I'm telling you.
You thought Michelle Obama looked good on the first night? Like, damn, that's
You
gonna
heard
be a
it
good
here
first
first.
Dance, dude.
It's goofy and probably won't happen, but if it happens, I'm a prophet. You guys understand?
Yep. Damn
We're
straight.
recording this
Fucking
shit.
prophet.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
of everything,
That's what I think.
of everything you just said, Kanye has definitely done his part to,
Because Jigga was
you
like,
know.
I see you. I see you.
I think it's very sexist. You didn't think Beyonce was the one planning all this, by the way.
oh, you're right.
I mean, she's
No, that's
she's more
true.
powerful.
She's usually behind most of his
The
shit.
single Who run the world? Me.
Yeah, see? There
The
you
two
go.
of us. All right, this has been fucking dope. We got any YouTube comments? We got anything we want to share? Any questions for the panel?
The only person commenting was Regilio, who's standing right behind me. so-
Fantastic. Does he just want to ask? Does he just want to ask his question into the mic? We can just answer it. I'm fine with that. Go ahead.
You have a question?
Yeah, I'm fine with audience questions too. We got a few minutes. Let's do it. Raise your hand and some shit if you got it. Anything? What up? Yo, The Rock. What?
pretty
Is the-
dope.
would you vote for The Rock?
Would I vote for The Rock if these were the options? Trump, some old ass bitch I don't know. Kanye, right? That was
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Jigga,
Yeah.
it'd be between Jigga and The Rock. But honestly,
That's a good double
I'm
ticket.
gonna tell you right now.
Rock Hova?
If he
That's a
was
ticket.
vice, damn. I'd probably want Jigga on top because he used to sell crack, Rob.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he used to move snowflakes
Yeah.
by the OZ.
yeah.
Rob.
I feel like he made himself a billionaire. So if he could, brother, that's that's good. That'd be hard. It'd be Jigga versus The Rock. Damn.
Rob.
Yeah.
Rob, over Trump, I would literally vote for A-Rock.
I'd vote for anyone.
Thank you, Michael.
Maybe we should vote for Rob. Well, I'd vote for Rob.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah. I'd vote for you.
I have already done enough shit on this show to disqualify for me for being president. There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way that would work out.
I'd vote for you, though.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Anybody else? We got anything? Good. I didn't want anything else. God damn it. I want to say before we head out, thank you so much to my panelists, Joe Flanders, Alan Peterson, for coming out. Let's get a round of applause.
Thank you.
For 'em.
Thanks for having me on.
Fantastic. We're going to be back at this next week. We have a wonderful set of guests. Off the top of my head, I believe it's Stephen Friedrich, Hannah Canetti, Willie Mack, and Mike Eshak.
Fuck
Also,
yeah.
Oh, boy.
another
Damn.
one is on that. Yes, absolutely. So
yeah.
we'll be right back here, and we're going to stick with it, baby. Robbing the people. We have a good night, everybody. Have a good night.
Yeah.